They promised you connection. They promised you love. They even made it look fun. Just swipe, match, message, repeat. But no one warned you about the emotional hangover. No one told you how it would feel to open the app and see nothing. No new matches, no replies, no validation, just silence. And yet, you keep checking, over and over. Why? Because it might be different this time. Because maybe today, someone will finally choose you. And that's the trap. Dating apps sell you the idea of endless opportunity. But what they're really feeding you is uncertainty. And your brain? It's addicted to the hit. Every match, every notification, every "she liked you" pop-up triggers dopamine. Tiny spikes of hope that keep you hooked. But when there's no match, no reply, no message, you crash. And each crash chips away at your confidence a little more. You don't even realize it's happening at first. You think it's just a dry spell. You tell yourself everyone uses these, it's normal. But slowly your self-worth becomes tied to an algorithm. Your masculinity starts depending on whether or not you get picked. And that's a dangerous game. Because the moment your self-esteem becomes digital, you lose control. You start to feel invisible. Not because you're not valuable, but because you're swimming in a sea of endless profiles, where attention is currency, and you feel like you're bankrupt. And worse, even when you do match, it rarely leads to something real. Small talk, ghosting, game playing. The emotional connection you're craving, it's not on the app. It never was. But by the time you realize it, you're hooked, because now it's not just about dating. It's about proving you're still desirable. It's about winning the next match, the next chat, the next tiny hit of validation. And the worst part? You've traded depth for dopamine, and you're left wondering why you feel emptier than when you started. Validation is one of the most addictive drugs, and dating apps are your dealer. Every time you get a match, your brain lights up. Every like, every heart, every "she's interested" notification gives you a little spike. And without even noticing, you start craving it. You check the app in the morning. You swipe on your lunch break. You refresh it before bed. Not because you're having real conversations, but because you might get that hit of validation. And here's what makes it worse. That hit is completely empty. It doesn't come with connection. It doesn't lead to something real. It's just a digital pat on the head. A small high, followed by a massive crash. You know the crash I'm talking about. When you open the app and there's nothing. No one liked you. No one messaged you. And suddenly your mind starts spinning. Did I lose it? Am I not attractive anymore? Why am I even on here? That right there is withdrawal. Not from a person, but from a pattern. A cycle of chasing digital approval to feel emotionally okay. And the more you feed it, the deeper it digs into your identity. Now your day feels good or bad based on whether an app gives you attention. Now you're not dating for connection. You're dating to not feel like you're falling behind. Now silence feels like rejection. And ghosting feels like failure. But none of this is about love. It's about needing someone, anyone, to say, "You're still valuable." That's the trap. And it works because it's designed to. These apps aren't built to get you off them. They're built to keep you swiping. They're engineered like slot machines, random rewards, unpredictable outcomes, and just enough attention to keep you chasing. But here's the reality. The more you seek external validation, the less you cultivate internal strength. And eventually, you forget what it feels like to feel solid in yourself. You forget what it's like to feel worthy without a screen telling you so. You ever open the app and instantly feel tired? Not because you've been using it for hours, but because your brain is already exhausted before you've even started swiping. That's the mental fatigue no one talks about. Because on the surface, it's just a screen, just pictures, just profiles, just a few messages here and there. But underneath, it's nonstop emotional multitasking. You're managing micro decisions constantly. Is she hot enough? Do I message her first? Should I wait 3 hours to reply? What did she mean by that emoji? And every one of those small decisions burns energy. You're not even aware of it. But your brain is running in the background, analyzing, calculating, reacting. Now multiply that by 5 conversations. Add in the pressure to be witty, charming, interesting, on demand. Add the anxiety of being ignored. Add the crash when a conversation dies mid-sentence. That's not dating. That's emotional labor. And it builds up. Suddenly you start feeling irritable, disconnected, numb. You check the app, but you don't even care anymore. You match, but you don't even want to reply. You delete it, then reinstall it a day later. That's burnout. But not the physical kind, the emotional kind. Because your heart is tired of performing. Your brain is tired of pretending. And your spirit is tired of chasing attention that never really satisfies. No one tells you this. They tell you to just keep swiping. They tell you it's a numbers game. They tell you you'll find someone eventually. But they don't tell you what it costs. Your energy, your focus, your inner peace. Because all that time spent checking, wondering, hoping, that's time you're not spending on you. You could be reading, lifting, creating, healing. But instead you're stuck in a loop, waiting to be chosen. And the more time you give to the app, the less time you give to your mission. It's death by 1,000 distractions. And the worst part? You think it's normal. But it's not. You weren't built for this. You weren't meant to live like this. Tied to a screen, addicted to attention, exhausted from pretending. And deep down, you know it. The deeper you go into dating apps, the more you start to feel it. You're not being seen. You're not being chosen. You're just another option. And that hits different. It's not just rejection. It's a slow erosion of your self-worth. Because when you finally match with someone and she stops replying mid-conversation, or worse, you see her online, but she never opens your message, you don't just question her. You question you. You wonder, was I not interesting enough? Did I say the wrong thing? Is someone else just better? And the truth? Maybe she's talking to 5 other guys. Maybe she's just bored. Maybe you were never more than a distraction. And even though you try to play it cool, it eats at you. Because deep down, every unanswered message feels like a little, "You're not enough." Every ghosted chat feels like a quiet, "Next." And that slowly builds into something heavier. You start to see yourself as disposable. But let me be real with you right now. You're not disposable. You're not just some profile picture. And you're definitely not someone's backup plan. You're a man with value, with presence, with purpose. But none of that will feel real if you keep handing your self-worth to people who haven't earned it. That's why you need to step out of the game and back into yourself. And if this message is hitting you deep, if you're tired of feeling like a second choice, then I need you to do something right now. Hit the like button, not for the algorithm, but as a statement to yourself. A statement that says, I'm done chasing. I'm done proving. I'm done waiting to be picked. And if you're ready to fully reset your mindset, check out the other videos we've dropped here on the Irresistible effect. We go deep on this, on confidence, control, and becoming emotionally untouchable. Because this isn't just about dating. It's about who you're becoming. So stop seeing yourself through her silence. Start seeing yourself through your standards. You don't need to convince anyone to choose you. You need to choose you and watch the world adjust. At some point, you have to stop asking, why don't they see my value? And start declaring, I know my value, and that's enough. That shift changes everything. Because as long as your worth depends on someone else's attention, you're giving away your power. You're letting strangers on a screen tell you how confident to feel. You're outsourcing your masculinity to algorithms. And you're living like a man who's waiting to be chosen. But a real man doesn't wait. He builds. He leads. He becomes. And that begins with a hard but honest question. What have you been neglecting while chasing validation? Maybe your body's out of shape. Maybe your business has stalled. Maybe your inner peace is a mess. Because all your energy has been tied up in trying to win women who don't even know who you really are. Let that sink in. You've been spending your most powerful resource, your focus, on people who haven't earned it. It's time to take it back. Reclaiming your emotional power starts with silence. Not ghosting others, but choosing to be still. Delete the app. Log out. Put your phone down. And sit with yourself. Feel the discomfort. Feel the temptation to chase. Feel the anxiety of missing out. And breathe through it. That's the withdrawal talking. That's the detachment rewiring your nervous system. That's you, unplugging from noise and plugging back into purpose. You don't need to go monk mode. You don't need to disappear from the world. You just need to redirect your fire. Back to the gym. Back to your money. Back to your mission. Back to your code. Because every moment you're not seeking validation, you're building internal validation. And that's the kind that doesn't get ghosted. It doesn't expire. And it sure as hell doesn't swipe left. You were never meant to be desperate. You were built to be dangerous. Not in a toxic way, but in a powerful way. Focused. Grounded. Clear. That's what women are really drawn to. That's what will separate you from the noise. But none of that happens until you stop needing and start leading. So how do you actually make the shift? How do you go from a man addicted to swipes to a man rooted in his power? It doesn't happen in one day, but it does start with one decision. You stop chasing attention, and you start building attraction. Because attraction isn't just about looks. It's about how you carry yourself. It's about how you move, how you think, how you speak. And most of all, it's about where your energy goes. If all your energy is going into swiping, chatting, and hoping, then none of it is going into leveling up your actual life. So here's where the shift begins. Don't delete the apps, even if just for 30 days, not forever, but long enough to break the cycle, long enough to see how much space it frees up in your mind. To move your body daily. Doesn't matter if it's the gym, boxing, running, walking, move. Because every drop of sweat is a reminder. I'm in control. Create more than you consume. Write, build, learn, invest. Turn your energy into something that compounds. Something that rewards you long term, not instantly. 4. Redefine your standards. Ask yourself, would I want her if she treated me how I treat myself? If the answer's no, start treating yourself better. That means stop breaking your own word. Start showing up on time. Clean your space. Keep your promises to yourself. Because every small act of self-respect builds your foundation. And soon women become additions to your life, not the center of it. They feel the difference. They feel the groundedness. They feel the power. And it's not about being cold or distant. It's about being full. A man who no longer needs validation radiates the energy of someone who doesn't chase because he chooses. And that shift? It's magnetic. It pulls the right people in. It pushes the wrong ones out. And it gives you something no dating app ever will. Peace. You've been ghosted, ignored, rejected. And somewhere along the way, you started thinking it was about you, but it never was. It was about a system designed to drain you, to keep you swiping, to make you forget who you are. But not anymore, because now you know the game. You've seen behind the curtain. You've remembered your value. And the truth is, you don't need another match to feel worthy. You don't need another reply to feel validated. You don't need her to like you to love yourself. What you do need is direction, standards, vision, discipline, and emotional control. Those are the qualities that make you magnetic. Not your abs, not your bank account, not your clever messages, but your energy. The energy of a man who's no longer asking, "Do you want me?" Because he already knows the answer, "I want me." That's when things shift. That's when the chasing stops. And that's when the real you shows up. So if you're ready to stay grounded while everyone else is chasing ghosts, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Because here at the Irresistible Effect, we're not just helping men get dates. We're building men who can't be broken, who lead, who attract, who own their worth, no matter what. And if this video spoke to you, go check out the rest of our gallery. You'll find videos on mastering female psychology, self-discipline, attraction, and power. Everything you need to level up right here. You're not invisible. You're not broken. You've just been disconnected from your power. It's time to take it back.